Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Yider Insurance Group, Forward Corporation and T.R. McTaggart, Angler Quest Boats, Security Credit Union, Garber Chevrolet, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Indeed, this is the big guy, Mike Avery, and welcome to hour number 3 of this week's Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. As always, so glad to have you along with us. A lot of different things you could be watching or listening to, and the fact that you're hearing my voice right now does mean a lot to me. If you were with us in the first 2 hours of the show, you know that we've spent, I think, a lot of time this week talking about hunting, although there's been some fishing that has snuck into the rundown as well. But this third hour, I want to talk primarily about fishing. There are some wonderful late fall, early winter fishing opportunities here across our state. Last week we were talking about walleye fishing. But right now, I want to talk a little bit more about river fishing. Steelhead in particular, I think. And Lance Keene with me along with me to do that. You know Lance from Steelhead Hunter Charters, his website, steelheadhunter.net and troutscout.com. And Lance, I think, is with us from the river as we're talking right now. Lance, welcome back. How are you?
How we doing, Mike? Yep, we're live. We're live on the Big Manistee today.
We got a pretty good signal today, too. And who have you got with you out there today, Lance?
I got Captain Lance Valentine.
Well, make sure you tell Lance that his fishing is being cut short because you have to talk to me. That'll make him real happy.
All right, we'll do.
Yeah, I thought Lance was just a walleye guy, but in talking with you, you and Lance go way back, don't you?
Oh yeah. We used to fish walleye tournaments way long time ago. Yep.
And how long has it been now, Lance? Remind me, if I remember right, didn't you buy Trout Scout?
Yep.
That's been, gosh, how many years ago now?
Oh shoot, it's gotta be 10 now, or.
That's what I was thinking. Probably 10 years ago now, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be about 10 years. Yeah.
So, are you working now between your Florida adventures, your big lake fishing, and the river? Are you a full-time fishing guide?
Yeah, I'm full-time as full-time gets.
What's that like?
Well, you just gotta go fishing every day. You gotta go to work. You gotta go fishing. You gotta catch fish.
Yeah, you make it sound so easy, but people say, "Yeah, I'd love to go fishing every day," but there's not the pressure. When people are paying you to be on the water to catch fish, that's got to change everything.
Yep. You got to. You got to be able to produce some fish, that's for sure.
But that's not going to happen even for a guy like you every day in big numbers, is it?
Nope. I went the other day. I had one bite all day, caught one fish, and that was I'm pretty sure our only bite we had all day. And the day before, we caught 5, and the day before that, we had 7 or 8 hooked up, and just the way it is.
Well, yeah, that is the way it is. But again, if you got people paying you and you got one bite all day, I mean, how do you deal with that? And I guess you just hope you got customers who are understanding enough to accept that. But not all these people are going to get it, I would imagine. No,
I mean, but people see, if you're working hard and changing colors and trying stuff and going to different spots and spending a little extra time on the water, and you just say, hey, look, they just weren't biting today, or they weren't here, or one or the other.
Yeah, you're right. I guess if they see you working, they know you're working hard for them.
At least you're trying, right? At least you're trying.
Hey, of your salmon fishing, your steelhead fishing, your walleye fishing, and your Florida fishing, your saltwater fishing, can you pin it down? Do you have a favorite?
Hell, I've always said winter steelhead fishing, or fall to winter steelhead fishing was my favorite, but then the saltwater game came, and I think that's changed my mind a little bit.
Well, the weather's got to play a role in that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's definitely nice saltwater fishing, that's for sure. And the fishes are a lot more, they're just hungry, and they're just mean, and they just fight hard.
Well, I know every year when I talk to you when I can, because you're so busy when you go down there, it's always refreshing to talk to you. You're down there in the sunshine, the warm water. The fish are aggressive. And I think a lot of your Michigan clients follow you down there, don't they?
Yep. I bring a lot of my Michigan clients down there with me to go fishing. Yep.
Even this year? Will you be able to do it this year with the COVID?
Yep. Actually, the phone's ringing off the hook. People are wanting to come. So I think they got shortened. A lot of people got shortened last year, so they're ready to go do something this year.
Good deal. All right, so you say you're on the river right now, the Big Manistee, correct?
Yep, Big Manistee, yep.
And I'm not going to ask you for your honey hole, but you in the upper stretch or you downstream?
We're mid-river today.
And what technique today, Lance?
The water's really low and clear, so we're just floating bobbers and beads, soft-color beads down there. We're just trying to fish the deepest, woodiest crap we can get into,
Which must make it interesting when you do hook a fish into that junk.
Yeah, we're in the battle. You got to battle them out of the wood, and the water's so clear that they just don't want to sit out, into the runs very good. They just don't feel safe out there, over the open sand with it being. I can see probably 3 or 4 foot, pretty clear visibility sand across the river right here, without even my glasses on. So. You got to get up in the junk, and you gotta sometimes hog them out of the junk. So
what's your catch rate? You're bringing them to the boat, bringing them to the net. Percentage of the fish you hook when you're fishing trash like that?
It's pretty close to 50-50. If they're really getting, if it's one of those tight spots, if they hook it, I'll hurry up and get on the motor, lift the anchor, and bust out to the center of the river where the people can pull on an angle and try to get them out of the wood instead of pulling straight up and down where the fish is getting a lot easier to go left and right. So I put a little I hurry up and get the boat out as fast as I can and then put side pressure on the fish. And I'd say 50-50 if we get them.
Well, I was thinking, okay, if you're going to be fishing in the wood, you could just go to heavier tackle. But then you say the water is low and clear, so you don't want heavier line. You still got to be stealthy.
You still got to run your fluorocarbon leaders, and I even lengthened my leaders up from, my bottom swivel just to keep the lead away from the hooks, farther than normal.
Do fish, this may be a stupid question, and forgive me for even asking it, but do fish get educated? When you got a river like the Manistee that gets hit a lot, do these fish get used to seeing certain things and maybe aren't as attracted to them?
Yeah, I don't say it's probably, I wouldn't say educated. I'd say they probably just won't bite for a couple days. And most of the time it's probably just boat pressure. They just hear the boats running up and down the river and they just say today is not the day. We've had definitely a fair share of pressure this year on the big river. So, but we've had our days, we get a push of fresh fish and they seem to fly into the boat a lot easier than other days.
Will you get those runs of fresh fish? Have they pretty much quit coming in for the year, or will they come in sporadically right on through the wintertime?
Yep, they just trickle in every time. It could be a change in the wind direction out in the lake to snow melt to rainfall to water cooling, water warming. It just, there's no sayings now. They can come in as they please. In
the river conditions, you say it's low and clear right now. How fast can that change? If we got a rain tonight, would that river be a completely different situation by tomorrow already?
Well, the fish, I wouldn't say you'd have fresh fish out of the lake tomorrow. You'd have fish that are here that are tucked up in the wood, a little bit of flow, a little bit of color. They'll start sliding out into the runs, and they're a little happier. There's a little more bugs and stuff, eggs trickling down the river, and they're just, they just get a little more comfortable, and then they're in more of a catchable scenario instead of buried up into the stuff where nobody can get to them.
Would a rain tonight, though, not change the number of fish coming in, but would it change the river by tomorrow already?
If you had a half-inch rain, yeah. It's pretty dry around here right now. We haven't had hardly anything, so yeah, we'd need a half-inch, and you'd get a little color, and you'd get just some flow, just sediment. It would definitely make a difference. Yes.
So, what would your ideal conditions be? You'd like a little more water and a little dirtier water right now?
Yep, I'd like that about 2 foot of just nice green, green water.
And unfortunately, you got to take what Mother Nature gives you.
That's right. So we're running real soft, nothing hard, no solid bright colors. Just running just whited out egg-looking imitations, and we're just poking around into the junk, and hopefully we get one here and there. So.
Did you say you're running bobbers, running floats?
Yep. Yeah, floats, bobbers.
What a cool way to fish. I mean, listen, bouncing spawn off the bottom takes a certain touch, but anybody can watch a float go down through the current.
That's right. It's pretty simple, and as long as you can just react and reel fast, when the bobber goes down, you'll be in good shape.
Even Lance Valentine can do that.
Even Lance Valentine can do that.
We're talking with Captain Lance Keene, who is on the Big Manistee River right now. I make a joke because he's fishing with our mutual friend, Captain Lance Valentine. You can learn more about Lance Keene at his websites, steelhunter.net and troutscout.com. We got to take a break here on the Outdoor Magazine Show, and more with Lance when we come back. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Michigan-based Boning Archery. Boning has been a leader in the archery industry since 1946, which means in 2021, they are celebrating 75 years in the archery business. What a tremendous accomplishment that is. They continue to innovate and come up with new products. Check them out online at boning.com, Bohning, boning.com. More with Lance Keene after the break right here on Outdoor Magazine.
The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses, from fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll-free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs, because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business.
Everybody needs to put gas in their tank, so the next time, why not save money with fuel rewards from Forward Shell convenience stores? With fuel rewards, you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up at the 26 Forward Shell convenience stores. Plus, you can earn additional savings with select products and special offers at those Forward stores. You can save 20, 30, even 40 cents a gallon, and the more you use fuel rewards, the more you can save. I use the Fuel Rewards program every time I stop by a Forward Shell convenience store. And you can too. Go to fuelrewards.com. That's fuelrewards.com. You can also download the Fuel Rewards app on your phone. The Fuel Rewards program at your local Forward Shell convenience store. A great way to save money every time you fill up. To learn more, check out forwardconvenience.com. That's forwardconvenience.com. Food plots are a big deal these days, and nobody knows food plots better than the folks at Michigan-based Killer Food Plots. Company owner Nick Percy has worked hard to develop premier whitetail habitat for almost 3 decades. That experience, combined with expertise in building healthy soil and choosing the right seed, will produce the results you're looking for. KFP's natural-based Groganics Fusion Fertilizer and Retain Moisture and nutrient-absorbing pellets can give you the edge in creating food plots to attract and keep deer on your property. Check out their website, killerfoodplots.com. That's killerfoodplots.com. Killer Food Plots can help you get your soil where it needs to be to produce lots of healthy, great-tasting food for wildlife and cover crops to screen your plots and even direct the deer where you want them. This year, take your food plots to the next level with Killer Food Plots. killerfoodplots.com.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Clare and Gaylord.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Lansing on WILS 1320 AM and in Manistee on WMLQ 97.7 FM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Suspension Max. When it came time to level out the look and the ride on my new Garber Chevy Silverado, I went to the folks at Suspension Max, as I have for, I think this is my fifth vehicle that the guys have worked on. Leveling kit in the front will help bring that front end up. I mean, I think all these trucks today, these new trucks are absolutely beautiful. But if you look at them, they're all running, they look like they're going down the road downhill. The front end is lower than the back end. Now, you might say, well, they're work trucks, right? And when you put a load in the back, you're going to compress the springs and bring the back end of the truck down. True. But realistically, how many of us are using our trucks for full-blown work trucks these days? Mine doesn't get loaded up in the back with anything other than hunting gear for the most part. So I like to bring the front end up a little bit. I think it's a nicer look. Plus, if you've got a snowplow or something, it gives you a little bit more clearance. The guys at Suspension Max put 2.5 inches on the front of my truck and 1.5 inches on the back, and it really looks nice. SuspensionMax.com is the website. Suspension Max, M-A-X-X, SuspensionMax.com. We're talking now with Captain Lance Keene of Steelhead Hunter Charters and Trout Scout Charters. You can find him online at steelheadhunter.net and troutscout.com. He's on the Manistee River right now chasing steelhead. But, Lance, you spent all summer out there on Lake Michigan after salmon and trout. How was your open water season this year?
It was pretty good, actually. Yeah, it was pretty good. There was, it seemed like a lot of bait fish starting to, come back. The lake's doing pretty good, and we had a pretty good May and June were pretty good. I was slow. We just didn't have the fish on our shoreline very much. I think they were all over in Wisconsin just due to the way it was blowing. And then they showed back up in August for pretty much the whole month of August. And then they started migrating up the river.
What about the size of the fish this year, Lance?
I wouldn't say they were quite as big as they were last year, but they were still pretty nice this year. They were still. I mean, I think we had like a 33 last year, 2 years ago, and then last year we had like a 32. That was our biggest. So,
man, that's still a heck of a fish, isn't it?
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Do you know right away when one of your customers has a 30+ pound fish on? Can you tell right away you got a hog out there?
Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, you can tell by how much line when they take off. How much line they actually take out, you can tell if it's it's going to be 25 pounds.
And then you get those salmon and trout out in the big lake. You follow them up the river. You fish them in the river. That's a whole different ball game. I mean, out there in the big lake, you can just let them run. You get them in the river, You got to try to control them, right?
Yeah, we go light drags in the lake and lock drags in the river.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yep, that's just the way it is in the river, because they're going to break you off one way or the other, so you might as well take it and try to pull them out of the wood instead of let them take you into the wood.
Yeah. Have you had any bites today? I don't know if I asked you yet.
Yeah, we've caught 2 today. 2 steelhead so far.
Yeah. Do you ever I should rephrase that. Is it common to get other species? Do you ever get browns or big walleye? I would imagine you get big walleye up there once in a while, don't you?
In the spring, you'll catch the walleye. Yep. In the spring, you'll catch the walleye, usually when the season's closed. But you usually catch one. It's usually a good one.
Oh, I bet. Well, the state record that's been out there since 1958 came out of a tributary that dumps right into the Manistee, if I remember right.
Yeah, the backwaters there, the Tippy Dam Pond and the Pine Finger, where the Pine River dumps into the Tippy Dam Pond. That's where it came from.
So listen, what are the different ways that you target steelhead there in the river, and will it change from now, late fall, as you go into the heart of the winter? Or by the heart of the winter, are you going to be gone down in Florida?
Yep, I'll be gone, but my other captain will be running the riverboat for me. So he'll still be here for the spring thing, and then he'll get the big boats in and run the first month in the big water.
Well, you talked about right now you're drifting floats. I mean, do you guys do you do the casting crankbaits? Do you use the drop shotting, or what do they call it when you're dropping downstream and you got the plugs behind you?
No, we pretty much we're gonna run floats from here on out, unless it gets really cold or the water gets really high. Then we'll fish plugs, in the rod holders and pushing them back through the runs.
That's an easy way to fish too, isn't it?
Yep, it's easy and it works good when you got some water. You got a little color in the water and you got some flow. It works pretty good, especially when it gets cold.
When you do that, do you stagger the leads on those things, or do you set them all up the same so you're pushing them with a wall of bait down of baits?
Put them all back there about 30 to 40 feet, depending on which plug you're on. And, make a wall and push them down there nice and evenly. Go down through the run straight, and you just basically push them back or push them out of aggression, and that's how they bite it.
And that's not a subtle bite, then, is it?
Nope. No, they don't. You don't have to worry about noticing when that one gets bit.
When these floats go down, is it? I mean, this time of year, the conditions you're working on today, is it real subtle, or will they even now come in and just slam that bait?
No, it's snapping. It's snapping down. That one? No. No, they snap right down when they bite it. Yep, they're snapping right down.
I will tell you, there's nothing I like better than to be talking to a guide on the river and have him catch a fish while we're on the air. So if you want to do that, Lance, go ahead.
That was Valentine's chance to be a hero. I think it was Wood.
Lance gets enough airtime without you and me helping him out again.
That's right, I know.
Hey, so how long will you be in the river before you head to Florida?
I'm going to be in the river. I think my last trip's on the 30th of December.
All right.
And then I got one day to pack, and then I'm driving.
And then let's talk about that Florida fishing a little bit, because can I book a Florida trip with you through one of the websites, Steelhead Hunter or Trout Scout?
You can go online and you can book it, and then I'll get back with the people and talks about if you're coming this month, this is kind of what to expect, and how many people we got and what we're looking to do and things like that, But, you can book it right offline for sure. What
are my options? What can I fish for with you down there?
Oh, you name it. We can pretty much catch it there. January, February, March, a lot of snappers, snook, redfish, permit, some bonefish. You can catch a little baby tarpon around the islands. You can go offshore and you can get a chance at some tunas and you hook a sailfish, and you can do all kinds of bottom fishing for different snappers and triggerfish and vermilions, and it just kind of depends on the bait you catch and the day and the conditions.
I didn't realize you were doing the offshore trolling for the tuna and sailfish.
Well, we do live bait fishing. We don't troll. We do live bait fishing where you throw some chummers out there and then start throwing live bait out with hooks on them and do that kind of stuff. And then when it gets towards like the end of March and all the way through May, it's pretty much primarily tarpon season. That's when the big tarpon show up, the 100, 150 pounders.
Man, that is just crazy to think about a fish that size.
No, it's unbelievable. And they come out of the water like multiple times, and it's a show, man. It's a show.
You're based out of where in Florida?
I'm in Alamorada. I'm at the Worldwide Sportsman, the Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, man. Does it make it tough to come back home to Michigan in the springtime?
Well, usually by the time I'm coming home, there's king starting to bite pretty good, out in the lake. So you kind of get excited for that, and it starts to get pretty hot down there too. So it's a pretty good change. Yeah, it's not. It's kind of sucks leaving, but you got something to look forward to. So.
How did looking at it from the outside, and I realize whenever you do this, you look at it from the outside. It's not like it really is. I know your job is a lot of work. I know there's a lot of pressure. But looking at it from the outside, I'm thinking, man, you got the best of all worlds. You've created this. You've carved this niche for yourself where you're very well known in Michigan. You got a great gig going on in Florida. How did this all come together, Lance?
I guess just people just want to keep fishing with me, and I kind of kept expanding, and now it's an everyday deal.
Well, you mentioned you were tournament fisherman with Lance Valentine. Is that how you started out, as a tournament fisherman?
Yeah, me and my dad would fish the salmon. Oh, there you go. Reel. Oh, you were sleeping.
Did Valentine just farm one out on the air?
No, the other guy was sleeping. I kind of started, me and my dad would basically go river fishing or big lake fishing every summer and weekend. We'd be on either the river or the lake, and we'd salmon tournaments, fish out there, and then we did a little walleye tournament fishing together, and I fished with Valentine a few times in some tournaments, and I'd pre-fish with him in some stuff, and we've always just kind of been into the fishing part of it. Well,
and look where it's taken you.
Yep. It's got me all over the United States, pretty much.
Well, good for you, Lance.
Yep.
And I tell you what, it's nice to be able to talk with you because during the summer months, man, it is tough to get in touch with you when you start running doubles and everything, and you're out there offshore and out of cell range, and it's
that's a grind out there. That's what separates everybody.
Yeah, I people always say, man, I wish I was a charter captain or a tournament fisherman. I say, be careful what you wish for, because it might just come true.
Yep.
All right, Lance, listen, always a pleasure.
Right,
good luck, and say hi to Lance Valentine, and good luck down there in Florida.
All right, will do. Give me a call in Florida.
Oh, man, I'd love to. Pat, am I a minute off? No, I'm good? Okay. I will get in touch with you, Lance. I would love that. Lance Valentine of Steelhead Hunter Charters and Trout Scout. The website's steelheadhunter.net. That's steelheadhunter.net, and troutscout.com, troutscout.com. I would love to. In fact, I was trying to get a trip going with Lance in Florida last winter. We were going to take a trip down to Key West. And, of course, the whole COVID situation hit, and we never did go down. But that, to me, would be perfect. Go down to Florida for a little wintertime getaway and get on the water with Lance Keane of Steelhead Hunter Charters. This segment of Outdoor Magazine, just a reminder, brought to you by my friends from Wilds Plumbing and Heating. From plumbing, heating, air conditioning, sump pumps, ductwork cleaning, you name it, everything to keep you warm, dry, comfortable, keep the mechanics of your house running smoothly. The folks at Wilds can take care of it. Check them out online at wildsplumbingandheating.com. That's wildsplumbingandheating.com. And again, my website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Check that out for all things Outdoor Magazine Radio and Mike Avery Outdoors. And you can always get in touch with me via email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. We'll take a break. Lots more coming up right here on Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Muskegon on WKBZ. That's 1090 AM. You can hear us on the other side of the state in Port here on WPHM 1380 AM. And on my flagship stations, News Radio 790, WSGW, and WSGW FM 100.5 in Saginaw. Now, I say flagship with no disrespect to any of my affiliates. I appreciate each and every one of those radio stations across Michigan that allows me access to their airtime and to their audience. It's a big deal to me. I could not do it without all of my affiliate stations. But I mentioned WSGW as a flagship because, well, for one thing, I'm in their studios right now. And while I'm here, though, I do consider them the Outdoor Magazine studio. Pat Johnston, by the way, with me doing a wonderful job. as always, I do certainly appreciate that. There was a change this past week. Actually, a couple of weeks ago now, as you're hearing the show, WSGW AM and FM are now simulcast. So my show is on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on both the AM and FM stations now. But regardless of how you are listening to my show, listening to my voice, I do certainly appreciate it. A couple of things I want to talk about here before we wrap up the show with Wild Game Chef Dave Miner. And I'll tell you what, when Lance Keene says, get in touch with me in Florida, I do really want to do that. Something I need to do here. In the meantime, though, I have been hunting. I continue to try to take a Michigan doe with my recurve, even though I could be shooting my 30-06 at this point, or hunting with my 30-06. But I haven't had any luck, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I will. I don't know if my goal of taking a big Michigan doe with my recurve bow is going to happen this year. If it doesn't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but I'll just make it a goal for next year. We did, though, set up details, an Ohio bow hunt for next fall, the fall of 2021. I've teamed up with my buddy Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters obviously in Ohio, and we're going to have what are we calling it? I don't have a name for it. Mike Avery Outdoors or an Outdoor Magazine Deer Camp. It'll be October the 11th through the 16th, 6 full days of hunting, lodging included, and all meals. Now the price of this is $2,100, which is not bad for an out-of-state all-inclusive bow hunt. And you might say, well, Avery, why didn't you do this in Michigan? Listen, I love Michigan. I would prefer to do everything here in Michigan if I could. But I've known Bill for a long time, back to the days of the Outdoor Magazine TV show. Used to hunt down there a lot. He threw out the option, and I had a lot of my friends and listeners say, hey, we'd love to try this. And so we put it together. If you want to be involved in this, we're very, very limited. I think we could probably fill up 2 of these camps. But if you're interested, send me an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. And ask me to put you on the list. And, of course, I'll have more details as we get closer. I'm not making any money on this. This is not a money maker for me. I'm not going to collect any of the money. I don't want anything to do with that. So I'm just kind of coordinating the party as it is. Have you tried to buy ammo lately? Good luck. Good luck. I did manage to get a box of .380 ammo and 9mm ammo the other day. I was looking for target ammo, and all I could find was self-defense, but I took it. I grabbed it, and I paid the same price that I would have paid a month ago or so. But I am hearing some disturbing reports of ammo price gouging going on right now, and that really, really bothers me. If you are a sporting goods or a retail store that relies on us as hunters and shooters to make your living, and we've been a customer of yours for years, why would you take advantage of an ammo shortage to gouge us on price? I think that's despicable. And I'm the type of guy that if I find out a store I'm dealing with is gouging me now on ammo, I'll remember it. And you will lose me as a customer. These are the times when we should all stick together. We shouldn't be trying to stick it to each other, right? A reminder, too, to join us every Wednesday night live. Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel, on my Vimeo channel, on Twitter as well. Still trying to figure out how to get it over on Instagram Live as well. Wednesday night live, 7 o'clock, we give away a Michigan brand ham each week as part of our Ham for the Holidays. Thank you, Nick Grillo and the Grillo family from Michigan Brand Meats. I was just talking to my wife, Denise, yesterday. For our Christmas, we're going to have 2 Michigan brand hams. We're going to have one on Christmas Day and one the following day. I love the spiral cut honey glazed hams. Those are outstanding. What else? Good news out of the Asian carp scene. The the federal House in Washington, House of Reps, has voted to go ahead with the Brandon Road Lock and Dam project. Still waiting for approval there from the Senate. Closer to home in Michigan, the commercial fishing bill is dead. That was the one that would protect walleye and lake trout from commercial fishing nets. That's dead. It's got to be brought back up again next year. because certain state legislators dragged their feet, and now we've all got to pay the price for that. So they got to start from scratch, from ground zero again in 2021. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michigan politicians, for not taking action on that. And I'm being as sarcastic as I can possibly be. Time's running out for the Pure Michigan Hunt. You've got until, December 31st, $5 to enter. You can enter multiple times. 3 winners will be chosen. Those winners will get a Michigan Bull elk tag, a bear tag, a bunch of managed waterfowl hunts, and $4,000 worth of gear. How cool is that? You can apply online at michigan.gov/DNR or any of the state license agents. You can always get in touch with me. My email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, and the website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Got to take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine Show. When we come back, wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner, and I think a little birdie told me he's got another venison recipe coming up right after the break here on Outdoor Magazine.
The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses, from fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll-free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs, because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business.
Everybody needs to put gas in their tank, so the next time, why not save money with fuel rewards from Forward Shell convenience stores? With fuel rewards, you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up at the 26 Forward Shell convenience stores. Plus, you can earn additional savings with select products and special offers at those Forward stores. You can save 20, 30, even 40 cents a gallon. And the more you use fuel rewards, the more you can save. I use the Fuel Rewards program every time I stop by a Forward Shell convenience store. And you can too. Go to fuelrewards.com. That's fuelrewards.com. You can also download the Fuel Rewards app on your phone. The Fuel Rewards program at your local Forward Shell convenience store. A great way to save money every time you fill up. To learn more, check out forwardconvenience.com. That's forwardconvenience.com. Food plots are a big deal these days, and nobody knows food plots better than the folks at Michigan-based Killer Food Plots. Company owner Nick Percy has worked hard to develop premier whitetail habitat for almost 3 decades. That experience, combined with expertise in building healthy soil and choosing the right seed, will produce the results you're looking for. KFP's natural-based Groganics Fusion Fertilizer and Retain Moisture and nutrient-absorbing pellets can give you the edge in creating food plots to attract and keep deer on your property. Check out their website, killerfoodplots.com. That's killerfoodplots.com. Killer Food Plots can help you get your soil where it needs to be to produce lots of healthy, great-tasting food for wildlife and cover crops to screen your plots and even direct the deer where you want them. This year, take your food plots to the next level with Killer Food Plots. killerfoodplots.com.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days, you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Claire and Gaylord.
Welcome back to Outdoor Magazine. Hey, if I forgot to mention this earlier, let me get it in right now. Outdoor Magazine brought to you in part by MUCC's On the Ground program. OTG, as it's called, is a program to improve habitat for fish and wildlife across the state. For details, check out the Michigan United Conservation Club's website, mucc.org. That's mucc.org. And reminder, you can save 25% on your MUCC membership by using the promo code MIKE, all caps, M-I-K-E. Save 25% on your MUCC membership. Want to turn our attention now to my good friend, wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner, a big part of the Outdoor Magazine show. David, welcome back. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, Michael, and yourself?
Doing good. Doing real good. I have not seen a deer during the season to take a shot at yet, but I'm still enjoying being back out there.
Isn't it great to be out there in the woods this time of the year? I mean, it's been pretty darn enjoyable.
Yeah, it really has. It's been a good way to deal with a rotten year. Just go outside, sit in a tree stand, sit in a ground blind, and just watch Mother Nature.
You got it. That's exactly what I've done. It's about time, I think, I'm going to start to look to maybe take a big old doe for the meat for the freezer. I haven't pulled the trigger yet on anything or pulled the crossbow up yet, so we'll see.
And all right, and so when you do take that big old doe, how about a recipe to cook her up?
Well, I've got a venison stuffed mushroom caps. I recommend the big portobellas, and if you're going to use it, say, as a main course, them big ones are, 7, 8, 9 inches across. Or you can get the small baby portobellas. And so if you want to use one of the large ones for a main course or 2 or 3 of the smaller ones as an appetizer, so this could go both ways. So this is a recipe for 4 large or 12 small ones. You need a pound of lean ground venison, which you should always make sure it's lean, large onion diced up fine, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic diced up real fine, between 1 to 2 stalks of celery, diced real fine. I like to use Italian spice in this, but you could use basil or whatever your favorite spice is. Then you could start off with a tablespoon and then go a little more if need be. I like to put Marsala wine in this. It makes it a little sweeter along with some Jim Beam. So a couple ounces of Marsala, 1 to 2 ounces of Jim Beam. I need to have you do about 2 to 2.5 cups of ground breadcrumbs. Get the plain ones or make your own. You need 2 beaten up eggs, a couple of tablespoons of parsley for the color, 1 package, 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese, and again, the big portobellas or the small ones. Take the stems out, and if it's not too tough, I would say to dice them up real fine, and you can add this to the stuffing. You need 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter, a little bit of milk to moisten, and I like to use fresh ground black pepper in this. So saute the meat, the onions, the celery, the garlic, spices until the meat's fully cooked. It's only going to take 6 to 8 minutes. You're going to stir it a lot, So then in a real nice big large mixing bowl, add the cooked meat, the breadcrumbs, and the vegetables, the wine and the bourbon, eggs, parsley, half of the Parmesan cheese that you've reserved, and half of the cheddar. Mix it up real good. Take about a tablespoon or so and hit it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And if it's to your flavor liking, by all means, use it this way. And while you're doing all of this other stuff, I would take a larger frying pan, put about 1 inch or 2 of water in it, and take those mushroom caps and start them with the gill side down, and then cover them up for maybe a minute or 2, and then do the same thing on the other side. Turn them over, cover it up, and boil it for a little while. That's going to help tenderize this, because mushrooms, unless you blanch them some way or another, they just get dried out and kind of leather-like. It's just weird. So anyway, so you're going to stuff all of your caps however much you want or as little as you like. Then when you take and drizzle some of that melted butter on each one of them and top it with the other half of the Parmesan, the other half of the cheddar cheese. Bake at 350 degrees or broil it, until they're nice and golden brown. And this It's great. You can, because you got eggs in it, you probably want to make sure you get it to about 175, 180 degrees in the center of this mushroom cap, because now the mushrooms are going to be fully cooked and be nice and tender. And portobellos, they almost eat like meat because they're such a firm, wonderful mushroom. You can freeze this dressing and with the mushrooms stuffed already, or you can freeze the dressing separately. It's up to you. It's just a cool way to have a nice, hearty meal for your Christmas time, holiday time. Appetizers would be wonderful. We're not supposed to have big gatherings, so you want to limit how much you're going to make for the amount of people you have in your home at this time.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful, Dave. And real quick, you said something about make sure you're using your lean venison. Now, unless I mix that burger with something else, venison's always going to be lean, isn't it?
That's what I said. It should be lean.
Okay.
Mine, beef, you're going to have to brown it off and then drain it, because there will be some residual fat that you don't want to get in your dishes. But venison, you don't have to do that with, because
Gotcha.
I process mine, and it is just as lean as can be,
I got you. Wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner, a big part of the Outdoor Magazine show. David, thank you. We'll talk with you next week, and I will talk with you next week as well here on the Outdoor Magazine radio show. During the week, though, we can always stay in touch. You can send me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. You can check out my website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Any of the social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, my Wednesday night lives every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Lots of ways to stay in touch. And what else? I think that's it. Have a great week. I'm hoping you get a chance to get out in the water, get out in the woods. I hope to be out in the woods before the next time we talk again. And we'll talk with you next time right here on Outdoor Magazine.